Thank you, Bill. Thank you, everyone. I'm really glad to be here. We have been married 52 years. We were 12 when we got married. Had children when we were somewhat older. My goal today is to help your club understand what the Rotary Foundation is, and I've got some an action request of your club. Three things about the foundation, why it matters to me and should matter to you, how the money works. I'm going to keep it at a high level. You can attend our grant management seminar and learn all about it. And as I mentioned, I have a challenge. It's going to be not technical. Keep it to 20 minutes or less. So I joined Rotary in 2003, as Bill mentioned, for community service. Probably like most of you, I wanted to give back to my community. I had some time, and I was a volunteer, as I could donate my time and my talent, and didn't feel any pressure to have to give a lot of money. And I didn't really know anything about the Rotary Foundation. You hear about it, and it's like, okay, great, everybody wants money. Didn't really care. Polio, of course, was important, and we got pushed with that, and I donated every year a small amount to Rotary, like $25. But it didn't resonate with me. What was resonating with me at that time was my kids and my community. No real personal connection to the Rotary Foundation. But in 2007, our club president decided that we needed to get more involved with international service. We were doing things, we were giving money. We do raise quite a bit of money, in fact, with our little chicken barbecue. And we would give it to Smile Train and some of these other organizations, but we didn't have any active involvement. And he wanted us to get more actively involved, and we formed the International Service Committee, and I was asked to be on it. So we looked at things we could do, and at that time, bio-sand filters, if some of you have been around a little while might remember those, that was the thing for clean water. And we thought that was great. As a group, we decided we wanted to do a project in the Western Hemisphere. Instead of going all the way to Africa or India or wherever, we could just go south, only one time zone change, and relatively cost effective. So we chose Honduras, at the time, the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, behind Haiti. And as Bill mentioned, we got a project going, and we had the opportunity to fund a large portion of that project with a 10-to-1 match in those days. We could do this called a 3H grant. We put up $30,000, and the Rotary Foundation put up $270,000. That was a big program in those days. As a financial guy, it's like, well, let me do the math here. What an opportunity! And we could, you could fly to Honduras for under $800, so round trip. And so we started doing that, and we worked with a couple of clubs down there, and it really, really gave me a whole new vision. Anybody if you've traveled to some of the poor countries, you know how desperate, what poverty really is. We have poverty, we have food insecurity in our communities, but it's a whole different level when you get involved and you see what we can do when we work together with Rotary. So with that impact and the changes in the communities and meeting other Rotarians, and I had this thing, people don't speak your language, sometimes you think differently about them. And I learned really quickly that there was a lot of really smart people. They didn't speak a lot of English, but they did speak Scotch, and I mean the leaders type Scotch. And so we had a good time, and we worked together. And so all of a sudden, now the foundation started to feel a little bit more personal, but it was still, that project was me, my fellow Rotarians from here in the U.S. and Canada, and the Hondurans. It was a personal thing. The foundation was just kind of there. But I started giving to the foundation. Every Rotarian every year is $100 US. I could do that. And so that was really my commitment, and I was comfortable with that. But then when I became club president, you get sucked in and have to become more involved and learn more. You go to what used to be known as PETS, now PELS, and it gets kind of exciting. It really does get kind of exciting. So I started pushing a little more, and after I was president, about a year later, I was asked to join the Rotary Foundation committee for the district. First was fundraising. I'm not big, I know I was a financial advisor asking for money, but asking for money wasn't my thing. We did all right. And then I was stewardship. And that's where Rotary Foundation has rules, and a lot of people chafe under those rules. If you've done district community grant projects, sometimes you might chafe under those rules as well. But I saw the importance of stewardship and how Rotary, we talk about being, I think it's 18 years now of a 4-star charity by Charity Navigator with a 100% score, not just 4 stars, but a 100% score. I saw the importance and how the money that goes there goes to actual projects directed by Rotarians. It's not like you're giving money to some other organization that's doing good work, but you lose all touch with it. Here, this is actually Rotarians. And so I really got to start to understand, and past Governor Donna Schmidt, who was chairperson at the time, gave me a book called Doing Good in the World, the 100 Years of Rotary Service. And when I read that book, it's a fascinating story of how it started out, and it was really small potatoes with the Rotary Foundation. But as the people and it was really different than today. It was run by basically by the district, by the Rotary International Board of Directors. Kind of crossover, you can't do that anymore. So, but it was small stuff. Just really districts. This district get together with that district and do a $50,000 project. That was, but it grew over time, and a big turning point was polio. They did a 3H grant similar to the one in terms of what we did in Honduras, but back in 1985 or 87, they did a huge 3H grant to eradicate polio in the Philippines, which eventually led to Polio Plus. So I got sucked in. I can't describe it any other way, but I saw the value of the Rotary Foundation and how by gathering this money, and over time we've built it up now, and probably remember last year. Next time I will make sure I say something snarky. Sorry, completely lost my train of thought. Bob, hi, Bob. So I saw how when we bring the money together, and last year we had the big campaign to increase our endowment fund to $2.025 billion US, and we did do that. That's counting the money that's been pledged, so we're not close to $2 billion in actual funding there, but it's going to be there. When we have us putting our money together, we can do so much, and I get a lot of pushback, like, why should I, as the Rotary Club of Windsor St. Clair, give money because we only get maybe half of it back? But no, you can get more. You get involved in Rotary global grants or other grants, you get the direct benefit there for your project, or just what you're doing good in the world with the Rotary Peace Center, with other clubs doing, because every Rotary grant is started by a club, is done by a club or a district. So bringing that money together, we can really get a lot done, and that's how we make true impact in the world. So you feel the power. Without the Rotary Foundation, Rotary couldn't make the impact we have in the world. And next year's president's theme or message, we don't call it theme anymore, is create lasting impact. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we do with the Rotary Foundation and the money that you do when you do the grants. So just a little bit of the mechanics. I don't want to get too deep in the woods on this. Please come on Thursday the 12th next week if you'd like to join our fantastic grant management seminar. And we concentrate on that. It's not like the old days. We concentrate on the district grants, the one that are most important to most of our clubs. But when you donate money, there's really two different buckets you can put the money in. One is the annual fund. That's the one where the foundation holds onto it for 3 years. And then using that interest or investment gains, they use that money to help pay expenses. We have a very professional staff at the Rotary Foundation. Great help managing our grants and making sure that we stay on track. And then the endowment fund, where the money goes in, and that's the gift that keeps on giving. That money goes in every year. The income comes out and is distributed to grant programs. We get from the folks that gave a very substantial amount of money. We've got about $2 million, a little over $2 million of funds that were donated by members of our district on behalf of our district to the endowment fund for that provides money to the annual fund. We get that half of that income back. So this year we've got I want to say it was about $13,000 of designated funds for us to distribute just from members' endowments that was allocated towards this year. So you've got the endowment, the gift that keeps on giving. The principal stays untouched and it actually grows. So district designated funds, you hear that tossed around all the time. That is the money that we get back each year. Half of the gains in the share fund, the annual fund, and half of the gains on the endowment monies that's directed to us. So that's when we have district designated funds, we take half of the money that we get and put it back to our clubs, through our district grant program. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then the other half of the gains go to the World Fund that's used for matching. And the district designated funds, when we use it in a global grant, that's where we get matching. So every dollar that we use of designated funds in a global grant, we get it comes out to be $1.80 with the 80% match. Rotarians decide how we spend that money, and we decide at the District Foundation Committee when we get grant requests. And it's you folks, each club and our district, that decides how we spend that money. And it's not, we just make sure that it meets the basic requirements at the club level, at the district level. Our community grant program, that's for local needs, parks, recreation, food insecurity is a big, I'll say popular grant program. And they're small, they're flexible. Our district, our rules are we match $2,500 of your club money with $2,500 of the district designated funds. You got a $5,000 US, so you get a little more for your money here in Canada. It's great for first time for a club that wants to dip their toes in. Global grants, large scale, $30,000 and up to about $500,000 of actual funding from the Rotary Foundation. So it could be over $1 million actually. They can't, global grants, everybody thinks, oh, that's something we do in Africa, because we do a lot of work in Africa, Ghana in particular. But we are part of the world, as you may have noticed, and we can do global grants locally. And we want to see more of that. In fact, I'm excited. Deb's working on that, the district action group for the environment. We are coordinating with other districts in the Great Lakes watershed, trying to look at projects that we can do for primarily for the environment. It's really exciting. Great Lakes are important to us locally, but 20% of the fresh water, surface water in the world. It's important we take care of it and enjoy it every day. So global grants can be local, and we need to do more locally. We have, so sure. Do I have to answer? Go ahead, Bob. Yeah, south of the border. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
We have need in Canada, higher northern
Sure. Everywhere.
If we combine multi-clubs, we did a 1-for-1 match or 5,000 and 10,000.
For global grants, we will match using our district designated funds. We'll match district club money combined. 10 clubs doing $1,000, 20 doing 500, one club doing 10,000. We'll match up to $10,000 if one of our district clubs are the international partner or the host partner on there. If we're just donating money towards somebody else's grant, then we match up to $5,000. So yeah, so the short answer is yes, we do multiple club match. Sure, on a global grant, absolutely.
5 clubs each.
We can't hear any questions. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Bob was asking if on a global grant, if multiple clubs were putting money towards that global grant, would the district match with DDF those monies? And the short answer to that is up to $10,000 if one of our district clubs is one of the 2 lead clubs, the host or the international partner, and up to $5,000 if it's some other club or district that's the lead, and we're just donating money. But yes, we do multiple club match. And Bob, you had a follow up there?
Yeah, so if in the district we raised 10,000, and then the district matched it, became 20.
Plus another 8,000 from the World Fund, from the Rotary Foundation. So you're not quite. You need another $2,000 US to get your $30,000.
So,
okay.
And do you have to have international connection?
A global grant, and I don't want to get too deep in this because I want you to come to the grant management seminar. But yes, every global grant requires a host club or host district. We don't do global grants as a district, but a host club and an international partner.
So we would also have to have a club from the other side.
And interestingly, because we're an international district, we could keep it all in the family with a U.S. club. We don't traditionally do that, but it is doable. It's legit, and there are other international districts that do that, where a club from the U.S. and a club from Canada are the international, because we are different countries.
Yeah, I think what Bob was mentioning was just having Windsor and Essex County clubs doing it solely.
Well, they would have to, if you did that way, if you're doing just Windsor Essex, you'd have to get another club from somewhere. They don't even have to put money in. We don't match it. If you did, let's just say, just keep it simple, St. Clair decides to do a program and wants to put in 5,000, and my club, which happens to be a U.S. club, says we'll put in 5,000. Then now that you got your 10, we would match that 10 and scrape up another $2,000, and with the international match, with the foundation match, you'd be at 30,000. My club doesn't have any money right now. I'm the World Service Chair, and we spend it all. Yeah, Phyllis.
Who on the committee, the district committee, who can mentor us? I know we do the grant seminar. It's a lot to take in that hour and a half or whatever. And we have a few ideas.
For global grants?
Just let's talk grants.
Okay.
But who, like, I know Rick Karen used to be the mentor to everybody and to you as well. Who's the guy or the gal now who knows enough about grants that can mentor us if we decide to go down that road?
Depending on the situation, Raj and Chetty or
Raja?
myself, and Ann can help too. She's in charge of stewardship, as you know. After that, it would depend on also on the grant. You know, we've got if you're thinking of
But to
the
start
specialty
with, ask
grants, if
Raj,
you're looking at
and then he can put us in contact.
yeah,
with
if there's
whoever.
something, yeah, between Raj and myself, yeah, we can either directly help or if you're talking humanitarian grants,
Okay.
you know, as opposed, we do have scholar grants, global scholar grants, and then we have vocational training team grants, which are very specialized, and we have people that's what they do. But then,
Thank you.
yep. Rick and I, you know, to diverge a little bit here. Rick and I became friends somehow or another. We just met each other and we decided to room together at an international convention in Atlanta. We drove 12 hours to Atlanta. I drove, so I got to pick the music. Channel 23 on Sirius XM. That's the Grateful Dead. He wasn't familiar with the Grateful Dead, but he got 12 hours of it. And he actually enjoyed it. And we listened to other stuff on the way home. But that's how he and I got started. And Rick and I really enjoyed working together for many years. When he was the committee chair, and then later, of course, he was the grants chair. He took my old job. So yeah, with the global grants, there's I mentioned the scholarship grants. We actually have a competitive scholarship grant program for the global scholar grants. They're funded by a global grant. That's only postgraduate, not an undergraduate program. And the person has to study outside of their home or their citizenship country, as well as their country of residence. So if they were a Canadian citizen living in the United States, they would have to go somewhere outside of the US and Canada, or obviously vice versa. But if they were a Canadian citizen living in Canada, they could study in the US or vice versa. So that's the scholarships. Vocational training teams, that's where a group of non-Rotarians, led by a Rotarian, visits another country and trains the trainers or whatever. So the annual fund, going the wrong way. We have coming in next year, we have every year is between $140,000 and $150,000 of district designated funds. And half of that roughly is then available to us for our community grants. And your club didn't do a community grant this year. Disappointed. But you have an opportunity to do a district grant if you get your application in before the end of May. Thank you, Phyllis. Good. I'm glad to hear that. So this year we're looking at about $70,000. Or excuse me, this current year we had over $70,000 available for district grants, and only 30 some odd clubs actually applied out of the 52 or 53 clubs we have. And $57,000 was all that they asked for. That's really disappointing. That's really disappointing because that money then goes, we still have it, we can designate it, we have it for a district, but it has to go to global grant. So we can't put it into our own communities. We have needs here. We have needs that could be met with a global grant as well. But it's very simple. I want to, and Rajan and I and Teresa Mangiacolda, the governor nominee, still should be governor-elect in a few months, we're working on ways we can utilize as much of the money as possible. One of the things that we're going to do this year, we always have part of our district grant. We take all the club's projects together and then put it as an application to the Rotary Foundation. And then they bless it. Part of that, we can do up to 10% of the total amount of that grant application can be contingency. That when things pop up, we just tell the Rotary Foundation we want to do it, and they say that's okay or that's not okay. And then we can, if it's okay, then we can do it. With the Gordie Howe Bridge, I can only hope it opens soon. There's, as a district, we're going to be putting peace poles in on both sides. At a park, Malden Park, I think it's called. I remember we did a project there back when Rick was governor. And then also somewhere on, I think, Riverside Park in the U.S. We're going to put up peace poles, and we need funding for it. And I'm working with Linda to maybe use some of our contingency money this year for that. But I don't want to have contingency money. I want, if we have $70,000 available for community grants, I want $70,000 of grant requests from our clubs, and we have to figure out how we can do it because we do have limits and so on. If you come to the grant seminar, you'll know, you'll get all the details about that. So with the district designated funds, another reason that we really have to get on the stick and use up our money. We used to be able to just, if we didn't use it this year, we use it down the road. And so we always felt like we were using the money, but when we'd look at how much money we've had designated, we were always thinking of the oldest money first and the newest money come out later. But they've decided that no, you have to use it in 5 years, they being the Rotary Foundation trustees. And the reason for that is millions, tens of millions of dollars were sitting unused over time for clubs that, and districts that weren't using their money. They were sitting on it. Some districts, like ours, we were planning to use it, just using it and but not using it fast enough. Some, it was a badge of honor, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, and they weren't spending it. And we were coming up where the foundation was not getting, they were getting so much grant requests as global grants became more popular that they were running out of money in April and May, and the Rotary year doesn't end until the end of June. And so they're like, wait a minute, we can't do the things we need to do because people are sitting on the money. So now we have to give it back. After 5 years, we lose track of it. Paul, Phyllis, nice to see you. So, and the way they look at it now, for us to use our old money, if you're familiar with accounts receivable aging and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of like what it is. We have to use first this year's money, and then we can start using prior year's leftover money. So there's a push to use it up. Our 5-year-old money, we have used it up, or we will have. We do use some of that DDF portfolio. So we need to get it done. We need to use it, or we're going to lose it. And I want us to use it. That's why Rotarians gave, our district Rotarians have donated the money, and we want to use it in our district, either directed to a project that's important to you, whether it's here in your own local communities, in our broader communities, provincial issues or whatever, or in the U.S. or somewhere else out in the world. We want to use it, and so that's my call to action for you. Look at your community. Sometimes smaller clubs, and I'm thinking over in the U.S. there's some small clubs, as few as 5 or 6, and at Walkerville I think it's 5. So you're doing projects and spending your money. We will match your, with our community grant program, we'll match that money. And one of the things we're going to look at is letting you take You're gonna do $1,000 in food bank, you're gonna do another $1,500 for back to school backpacks or whatever. You do some of these small programs and allow you to combine it, say, this is what we're doing this year, and then go up so that you can hit that max and not just do a little $1,000 program. $1,000 is big money, but we have more money to give, and I want to use it. So that's, we're looking at ways to allow you to use it, but you got to ask for it. You don't put in an application, and our job is to help you get those applications approved. I always say my job is to give away other people's money. It's a great job. It really is, if I can give it away. So think big. If you're thinking of a global grant, talk to us as soon as you have an idea of what you want to do. Talk to myself, talk to Rajan, talk to the district governor, whatever, so that we can keep you on the right path, because too often I do see where there's some issues. And we just take care of them early. Grants can be local. The money's there. Please, please take my money. So with that, thank you for your support of the Rotary Foundation. We've got great leaders, both locally and internationally. Thank you for listening. Any questions? Did I run over? Over 20 minutes?
Okay, we've got about one.
Oh, good.
Well,
Sorry,
well,
Bill's
thank you. No, I think this is,
one of my favorites.
yep.
Oops.
You want us closer or with the four-way?
We're between the two.
Oh, okay. We can't hold
Between
hands.
both leaders.
Oh, between both banners.
Okay.
All right.
No, thank you, Russ. This is absolutely fantastic to hear about the details, and we're going through a strategic planning initiative right now, and our co-president who is online will certainly mention that we have a meeting about it tonight. So we have a vision, or we'll have a vision for where we want to spend the money, and we're definitely looking for Rotary funds for it.
Great lasting impact.
Could create lasting impact indeed, and it's really needed as for now. I don't know that your speech was really worth it, but certainly Barb.
I'm actually the honey guy, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, folks.